On the screen.
Yes.
Yes, sure. So I quickly just give you the things that we are going to discuss in this. So if I remember correctly, you know how BRM works, right? You have a
Yeah, at a
like it's BRM.
very high level. Yeah.
Hello, yes, yes. So and the difference between the BRM and the regular sales scenario, how we do. Okay, before that, okay, just look at like regular SD scenario. What happens here? If you look at here in SD, what we do in a regular sales scenario, SD is basically mainly focuses on sales scenario, right? So a customer comes in and he looks for the products that he requires, and he buys them, right? And then once the goods are delivered to the customer, we bill the customer and we invoice the customer, right?
Yeah.
It's a regular scenario. So what happens is, I mean, maybe, I mean, it can start from an opportunity, a lead opportunity, and then it gets converted into quote, and then an order being placed, the sales order. We place a sales order for that customer in SAP SD scenario, and we wait for the PGI and the delivery to happen, right? So once the delivery is done, we do the billing and we do the invoicing, right? This invoicing, we create an accounting entry in FI,
Hmm.
all right?
Yeah.
This is a regular flow where a quote is kind of a confirmation from a company, not from the customer, right? A quote, when we say, it's a confirmation from company, right? Customer didn't agree to this, but company agreed to this, the prices that we mentioned on the quote. But when it comes to sales order, once the customer is agreed to the prices that are mentioned on the quote, we create a sales order, right? It's here both company and customer are agreed to this, right?
Hmm.
There is an agreement between the customer and company. So this is where we create a sales order, and then we do the post-code issue where we do the shipping and delivery, right? We make sure the shipping is done, also the delivery is done, right? So upon receiving the delivery confirmation, we do the bill, we generate a bill and we do the invoicing. This is where your accounting entry and accounting document gets posted to FI, right? Accounting happens at this point of time,
Yeah. Hmm.
all right? And here, if you look at it on the code, uh, there are different entities, okay, that we deal with during the different stages of this life cycle, right? Here the code, the customer is what, your customer is a business, the sold to party, right? Customer is sold to party here. How do I write this? Let's keep it here. Customer is a sold to party here, right? The role he plays is a sold to party to whom we are doing the business, we are doing the business, right? And here in the sales order also is the same thing. It's a customer. But when it comes to shipping, the same can be a ship to party, right? Customer acts as a ship to party, or it can be other person also, right? In case of ship to party, right? When we do the billing and invoicing, this is a customer is becomes a payer here, right? He becomes a payer. Right? These are the different roles that these are the different parties that we deal with. He can be a sold to, he can be a same customer can be a sold to, same customer can be a ship to, or it can be a different person. when we do the billing and invoicing, the customer becomes the payer, all right? For which we generate the billing, and he's responsible for the payments. Right? Payer is the responsible party for making the payments. Okay, here the PGI is mandatory because it's a physical goods that we deal with, that we deal during the sales process. Right? And if SD, a delivery confirmation is mandatory for the company to do bill and invoice the customer. Okay, but if you look at the SAP BRIM mainly deals with subscription specific businesses. All right, subscription businesses, subscription process. It deals with subscription process. In BRIM, what we do is, so we need to sell some subscription specific products to the customer, right? So if I say subscription product, it doesn't deal with any delivery, right? A customer just subscribe to the service and start using the service, right? There is no delivery involved in this.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So if you look at the same thing, we can follow the same path, but here this is a provider order. We either create a quotation or a provider order or a subscription order, and then we create a contract, provider contract. This is where the customer is agreed. Okay, we deal with contracts in subscription business. Okay, we call it, this can be either let me cut this one. Okay, contract is where company and customer both agreed to a specific price that is offered as part of that deal. Okay, and here, as it is a subscription, there is no shipping or bill delivery is required here. Okay, so this process is not there, and we do the billing and we do the invoicing. But at the time after invoicing, we don't send directly the entry to the FI. We send that to FICA, which is this is a general ledger accounting, right? GL accounting. But in case of this one, it is subledger. This FICA, there is a concept of subledger accounting. After this, we move it to FI. Okay, this is a process, a regular process that we follow in case of BRIM. Okay, and the concept is same. The customer, it's the same thing here. Okay, customer is a sold to here, and here also it's a sold to. But in billing and invoicing, he becomes a payer, right? It's a payer. There is no ship to, it's a payer. Okay, here what we do is, for a given sold to, we don't use the pair. I mean, pair is used, but we create one more object called contract account. Okay, so when we deal with billing and invoicing, it's all contract account, not the business partner. Is a BP. We call it as a BP, which is a business partner. Term is same, BP. Earlier we used to create a customer master data using XT01 and all, but right now it is in S4 HANA, it is centralized. We call it as a business partner. Business partner. It's not directly a customer. We don't create a customer directly. We create a business partner with different roles.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Different roles. Okay. So we use a concept called contract account in BRIM process, subscription business process. Using contract account, we do the accounting entries. Okay. Now, if let's take few examples. simple example, the one we have seen, everybody might have seen. Okay, so the mobile plan is an example. All right, a mobile plan is an example, and also we have licenses and cloud products, cloud offerings. Okay, and the same thing can be extended to insurance, and also hospitals. You name it, everywhere it is. Right now, nowadays it is getting. This is being used everywhere, right? So, but how do we deal? The once a product is sold. I mean, even in SAP BRIM, we call it as a product, SD or BRIM. Okay, it's at the end, it's a product. Okay, from a data point of view, the be it a physical product, or be it a license, or subscription product, a subscription entity, it's a product. We call it as a product in SAP. Okay, the parameters, the way we deal, the way different things are assigned to the product are different, but at the end it is a product. Okay, so what are the different things that are involved in this process? One is a business partner, right? Business partner is involved, and the other one is what, the product, right? We need to have this, right? Products are involved, and the order process. Okay, let's keep it as order process. Okay, so to no, let's not go there. Okay, here if you look at this, in SD we use a pricing procedure and we determine the prices. Okay, I hope, I'm just assuming that you know the SD process.
Yes, yeah.
All right, so okay, so what are the different charges that are involved in this? Let's see. Okay, different charges. Okay, in SD, one is the product selling price, regular sales price. Okay, okay, so, and we have freight charges for shipping. But if you look at, there is a tax amount also, right? Tax amounts. But here here in subscription, we have a product selling price. And do you have a freight charges? No, right? Because we are not shipping anything. So this is how your pricing procedure looks like. Okay, the procedure, most of, I mean, discounts can be applied, all those things, the generic terms will be there. But freight charges won't be there in SAP BRIM. And so in SD, once a product is sold and delivered to the customer, the process ends there, right? We don't deal any other things with the customer. If there are services, we use based on the request from this. Services can be used, but the process, once a product is sold, we don't deal any with the sales order. I mean, do we do anything with the sales order? We don't, right? Nothing will be done against the sales order. But BRIM, we have different charges. I mean, let's take an example of this, the subscription products. Okay, so if I go with a mobile plan, what are the different amounts that can be charged. I mean, what are the different these are prices, okay, not charges. Let's call it as prices. Okay. In Bring Business, let's say we are going to take a mobile plan example. Okay. In the mobile plan example, what are the different ways a customer can be charged in the mobile plan? Let's say as a customer, we go to a store or we go to some online website and we purchase a plan. Let's say the plan is $19 plan per month. We are going to purchase this plan. Okay. So they give us some 1000 minutes free usage, 1000 minutes free, and also some 20 GB data. Right? Regular and generally this is what happened. Right? Let's assume that this $19 plan per month is offering 1000 minutes free and 20 GB data. I'm going to let's say we are going to purchase this plan. Okay. So what are the different charges that can be part of this plan? One is activation fee, right? Activation fee. The other one is $19 plan we have opted for, and every month we are going to pay this $19, right? Recurring,
Recurring.
right?
Mhm.
And one more charge is what as part of this plan they offered us 1000 minutes and 20 GB data, but they allow us to use more than this, right? So until you use 1000 minutes, there is no charge for it, or 20 GB data, there is no charge for it. But if anything consumed apart from this 1000 minutes or 20 GB data, per minute or per KB, on per KB basis, or per minute basis, we will be charged, right? So that means somebody is tracking our consumption or the usage, right? $19 plan, somebody is tracking the usages and calculating how much is remaining, and if there is anything extra or the overage, we will be charged according to it, right? So that we call it as usage charge. Okay. So within the given commitments, if anything goes beyond it, that will be charged accordingly, right?
Yeah.
So this for activation fee we call it as one-time fee, one-time charge. Example is activation fee, and recurring is every month according to the plan, and usage according to the given commitment. If anything goes beyond it, we will be charged accordingly, right? So can we have a one-time charge in SD? Do they charge apart from
No,
products?
not an. Yeah,
No, right?
not an. Yeah.
Also, this is my product selling price. Okay, $19 is the product price. So in SD, if you buy this product, okay, so let's assume that this is some let's say that this is what I can say, any product, physical product. Okay, let's say that the television.
Yeah. Let's take a thumb drive. Yeah.
I'm buying a TV.
Yeah.
Okay, $19 is the price for the TV. Will we be going to pay $19 every month? No, right?
No.
We're not
Yeah.
going to pay that $19 every month. But in case of the subscriptions for a given product, there is, I mean, as long as we use the service, or within the committed, let's say that I want to use the service for a year and I want to pay $19 per month. So this is the recurring charges. In SD, what happens? Let's say the product price is $19. You can have a you can opt for monthly billing, or installments kind of a thing. That billing plan installment. Every month I'll pay $2 or $3 kind of a thing. not like entire product price every month I am going to repeat, right? But in
Correct.
subscriptions we are going to repeat that we call it as a recurring. And usages, I mean, let's say you're using the TV, and we are not going to pay anything for the usage of the TV, right? We are going to there won't be any usage for the physical products. Okay. But in mobile plan, the usage is what this gives us some kind of a flexibility. Apart, as part of this product, there are some limits set. Okay. If you're going beyond that, the usage comes into picture. Okay. So
Correct. Yeah.
anything else, any other charges that you see apart from these three? Anything that comes to your mind?
Mm. Uh, Brim related or SP?
Any other charge? I mean, BRIM related, subscription related, or any other charges? Do you see anything? Any other charges?
No.
No, right? So everything falls under these charges only. Okay.
Yeah.
So it comes under either one time or recurring or usage. Okay. And also SAP BRIM, it supports only these kind of these three charges only. Okay. And you don't see any other charges. Even if you find any other charge, they can be fit into any of these three. Okay. So if you look at one more example, OTT, what are the charges can be possible? Do we pay any one-time fee for the
One and
OTP?
two.
One time
Yeah.
is also not required, right? I mean, we can directly subscribe to the Netflix. Netflix is a OTP, right? So OTT, and you can just say that I'll go with $9 plan, and I'll pay $9 plan every month,
Yeah. If we don't buy any devices. Yeah, that's true.
right?
Only
Yeah,
recurring will be there.
$9 is the physical product, right? We don't deal with
Yeah.
when we say OTT, it's content, right? Netflix as a
Yeah.
content
Yeah.
provider.
Only
Okay, so
recurring will be there.
recurring is something we use. And do we have any usages?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, the rental, or let's say your OTT plan is $9 per month. Okay, so recurring is a charge that we pay every month, $9 for one screen or two screens according to the plans. But there is some usage also, right? I mean, we can opt for a rental service or on-demand content. So this is not as part of your this $9 plan. This is something additional that we are consuming apart from the offered service, right? On-demand content.
Yeah. Hmm.
So charges, I mean, see, any licenses, I don't think any usages, right? Licenses, you bought a license. Okay. Let's say the antivirus or any other services. Okay. So we only pay recurring. There is no usage to it, right? There is no usage
Right.
to that, right? So these charges, I mean, any of these charges can be, I mean, can become optional based on the service that we are subscribing to. Okay. So there are some AWS services. If you look at AWS, what they do is they have services pay on the go kind of a thing, services. Okay. Pay on the go. What does this mean? You don't have to pay any service. You don't have, you just subscribe to the service only for the usages, only for
Right.
the amount, only for the consumption you'll be charged. Okay, there is only usage scenario in this. Okay, so it differs based on the service that we are dealing with. Okay, it can be optional, or it can be made as mandatory. So it depends on the business that we're trying to implement the solution. Okay, so this is SAP BRIM. What are the different things that we do, and how this can be achieved?
Yeah.
This can be achieved. Okay, So SAP, we have different modules in SAP BRIM. They deal with different things. One is SOM, which is subscription order management. Okay. The other one is convergent charging or convergent invoicing, convergent charging, and if I see a contract accounting. Okay, contract accounting. So these are the different modules that are given by SAP to support this BRIM business. Okay. So and these modules are part of subscription order management is part of S4 HANA. So our training will be on S4 HANA 2022, and convergent. This is invoicing is also part of S4 HANA. This is an independent system. Independent, not part of S4 HANA. Okay. And this is part of S4 HANA. Okay. And our training mainly focuses on these three parts. Okay. Convergent subscription order management, convergent invoicing, we call it as CI, and this we call it as CC. Okay. So our training is this. In our training, we go with these three. FICA is a separate topic, and we don't. This requires financial background. Okay, it's a separate topic, and it altogether it's a big topic. And these all three are very big topics, but this requires financial knowledge as well. How different things from the finance happens. Okay, our training covers these three. So let's look at what are these. Yes, yes. Go ahead.
Yeah, I kept hearing there's another one called CM. What is? How does it fit in this?
Okay. Let me write that also. CM is a convergent mediation. Okay.
Yeah.
Convergent mediation. One minute. Just give me a minute. So we have these usages, right? In our SAP BRIM, we have usages. Okay. So when a contract is created, if you look at this example, take this example, or take this example, Control C, Control V, and look at this example. Okay. I'm taking that flow and taking this example. So here, what is happening here? So we have a quotation order and the contract is created, and at this point of time, okay. So when a contract is created or when an order is created, what are the informations that we know? We know that we need to we know the customer, and we know the product, and we know how much we are going to charge to the customer every month, and also we know that how much is offered. Okay, 10 GB or 20 GB and 1000 minutes are offered as part of the service. Okay, this entire billing and invoicing all throughout all the cycle, we know what are the details. The details upfront details are already known here, right? But how do you know let's say in January month, let's say I started using the service in January month. If you look at this plan, let's say we have subscribed to a plan which we are starting in January month. Let's say that upfront billing. Okay, this is an upfront billing case. So we are going to charge the customer. Let's say a contract is created that is valid from Jan to December. Okay, let's say that this $19 I'm going to use from Jan to December, and this is an upfront billing. Let's say that on 1st of Jan, what is my bill? Okay, so what are the different charges we have? One is activation. Let's say that there is an activation fee. Okay, so on 1st of Jan, what happens here? So there is an activation fee of $5 and a recurring fee. How much is it?
$19.
$19. $19 is the recurring fee. And is there any usage?
No.
Usage zero. Right? Usage is $0. So the total is what?
24.
Total is $24. Okay. So if we go to February, 1st February, okay, 1st Feb. Do we have an activation fee on 1st Feb also?
No.
We don't, right? Because it's a one-time fee, but the recurring will be there,
Yeah.
right? $19 will be there. And usages, let's say that on 1st Feb, let's say every day I used some 10 minutes, 5 minutes, every day I'm using, let's say that, 1st of Jan, 1st Jan, I used 10 minutes and some, 100 KB data. Okay. And on 2nd Jan, let's say I used 5 minutes. I used, let's say 10 KB data at one time. And the same thing I can do n number of times, right? I can use the data. There is no restriction, right? I can use in a given day I can use a service n number of times, right?
Mhm.
There is no restriction to it. How often I use the service. Okay.
Oh,
So at the end, every day we have to track. Every time a service is consumed, you need to track that, right? How much is consumed. But if you look at this flow, do we know how much is consumed in this flow? How do we know how much? This is actually we are just creating a $19 plan and we are trying to build the customer. In this flow, we don't know how much the customer is consuming, right?
correct. Yeah.
But we know few details. One is, what is the activation fee and what is the total amount, recurring amount every month that the customer is going to pay. Those details we have, but how much the customer is consuming and how to track that. Okay. Let's say at the end of the first month, at the on 1st Feb, there is a consumption happen. Let's say the 1200 minutes are consumed and let's say 30 GB data is consumed or some 15 GB data is consumed. Okay, so for this additional 200, do we know additional 200 from looking at the contract? We don't know, right? By
We don't
looking at
know.
the
Yeah.
contract, yeah. So this 200 we should charge the customer, right? Let's say that the amount is coming as $6. We need to charge the customer for the $2 for the 200
Minutes. Yeah.
minutes of usage, right? So this the total bill becomes now what $25. Total bill is $25. How do we know how much to charge the customer? These are all the data that is this customer is using. We should track it. Okay.
Yeah.
So there are external systems. External systems. Generally, this is done by a business unit inside any company using external systems. They track the data, track the consumption, track consumption, and this consumption will be sent to SAP. We need to bill it, right? Then it has to come to the data has to come to SAP so that we can do the billing and invoicing the customer. We can do billing and invoicing for the customer, right? So this track consumption is done by external systems, and they send data to CM, which is convergent mediation. Okay, so this convergent mediation is a system. It's a middleware. Okay, don't look at as this as a complete some BRM system. It's a middleware kind of a system. Okay, what
Okay.
this will do,
Okay.
CM, SAP built this CM so that the CC, we use this tracking and all using CC. Okay, CC and CI to build the customer. We use CC and CI and we build the customer. Okay, so but conventional CM, why people are talking about CM, because SAP, it's a tightly integrated. Okay, SAP has given a mechanism to convert the data that is coming from the external systems, to convert the data that is understandable by SAP CC and CI system. Okay, it's a kind of a
Mhm.
mediation system, kind of a middleware. Let's just take it as a middleware system. It knows how to convert the data. There is a tight integration. Okay, the data gets we can send the data to CM from CC and from SOM from CI, so that CM understands the data because it's a tight integration between SAP systems. Okay. It's a kind of
Got
a
it.
middleware. The usage tracking
Okay.
is done through UCM. So this is all. We don't have to focus more on it. It's a middleware. We don't.
Hmm.
There is nothing, no process involved there. Okay, clear?
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Now, now let's look at. So what are we going to cover? Okay. Let's look at the modules first. Where is it? Yeah. So our course, we go through this. Okay. So to implement any solution, let's say that we are going for a greenfield system. Okay, greenfield implementation. So what are the prerequisites? We need to build the enterprise structure, right? Prerequisites are what? If it is a greenfield, okay,
Yeah. Hmm.
and if it is already there, we don't need enterprise structure and all. Okay, enterprise structure is required. So as part of the enterprise structure, what we do, we have a company. We need to set up, right? These are SAP. We need to set up these entities first. One is a
Right.
company
Right.
code. We need to set this up, and the sales area. Okay, these are the prerequisites. These are mandatory. These are required things. We need to ensure these are. So what is the sales area? Sales organization, distribution channel.
It follows the ST, is it? All the
Yeah,
three.
it is.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
enterprise structure is a cross application component, right?
Yeah.
This is mandatory even for other modules to work properly. These things have to be set up.
Yeah. Hmm.
So first one is what? Enterprise structure. Okay, let me put it this way. So okay. So now the second thing is what? As a business partner. Even business partner is a cross application component because it is used across the systems, right? Not just specific to uh, BRIM, right? This is the master data we need to set up, because we are going to work with the business partners only, right? First, the data
Yeah.
should be available, right? We need to know the customer upfront, otherwise we cannot do the business, right?
True. Yeah.
And the third entity is contract account. Okay, this is something important. This is specific to BRM, I would say, and utility industry. Any subscriptions involved, a contract account comes into picture. So this is also a master data. This mainly deals with, it has the BP. If you look at this BP, no financial information is stored. Okay, okay. We maintain that on the contract account. Okay, this is mandatory. Like, your payment terms, what is your due date to determine the due dates, and also how the customer is going to pay. There are different things are there. Okay,
Correct. Okay. Yeah.
how the accounts are getting determined. Okay, different information are stored on the contract account. It's a mandatory object that we need to build first. And the fourth one is subscription product. Okay, so these are the prerequisites that we need to have prior to do our configuration specific to all the three. Okay,
Hmm.
and in SOM, what are we going to do? So in SOM, what we do is we generate master agreement. These are the different objects. Okay, it's not necessary that we have to build everything. In SOM, we have a master agreement, we have a solution code. We are not going to deal with it anyway. We have, because we have other ways. So provider order, a provider contract, and there is something called ODI, order distribution infrastructure, and also there is something called change process. Okay. So on a higher level, these are the different objects. We don't, I mean, either it can be either solution code or provider order. Okay, I'll say this way. Okay. So how we set up a order, and how a different configuration specific to master agreement, order, contract, and what is this ODI and what is this change process. These are the things that we are going to cover in the SOM.
Hmm.
Okay. And different configurations specific to that. Before that, we'll set up these things and then we'll go to SOM. CI, we deal with billing plan, and this is more of, how we do the billing, and how we invoice the customer, how we can invoice it. Okay, billing and invoicing is done in CI. And also there are few other concept, billable item management, and consumption item management, and also rating. Okay, these are the concepts that we are going to cover, and few associated to this also. Okay,
Hmm.
this is mostly focusing on, what we how we do the billing and invoicing. So conversion charging, it says we there is a concept called rating and charging. Okay, so rating and charging is done using CC. There are few concepts. Okay, one is a charge plan and a charge. Okay. We look at how a rating and charging can be done using different objects, and we also cover charge plan and charge. Okay, this is on the higher level. Okay, what we are going to discuss
Hmm.
as part of our training. Okay, so what are the charges that we have seen?
One-time
We
recurring usage. Yeah.
we have one time and we have recurring. We need to build the system so that these charges can be handled, right, and usage. Okay, so for
Hmm.
one time we use either a quote slash PO. I'll say PO is a provider order. Okay, and from there we create a PC, which is a provider contract. Let me type so that I'll remember. And from here we generate a billing plan. From here a billable item is generated. We do the billing and we do the invoicing. And we integrate this to FICA. Okay, how we send the data to FICA we'll see, but FICA we are not going to cover, but at least we can see how an entry is getting posted to FICA and what are the different things required for posting the data from posting the data into FICA. Okay, so this is for one time, and recurring also we follow the same path. So I'll say for one time and recurring, this is the same path. Okay, this is the provider order. Okay, to make it clear.
So
Okay,
for recurring, if we follow the same path, are we creating a provider contract every month, or is it like
no, no. We'll see that how the things are going to happen. We're not going to create a contract every month, but there are ways to do that. Okay, how can we do? It's a single contract. We cannot
yeah?
ask customer to create a contract every month, right? He already agreed. There's a 1 month, 1 year contract, and every month we are going to bill it. How we do that? We can see that.
Okay,
Okay, so if you look at this, this is SOM, right? Where are we dealing with this?
subscription order.
Quote order the contract until this part. This is part of subscription order management, right? The billing plan, billable item, billing and invoicing, until this part it is CI, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, even invoicing also, right? Until this part it is CI, and FICA is separate entity. Okay, this is for one time and recurring. Okay,
Mhm.
now let's look at the usages. Okay, here for usages, this path is already there. Okay, and here the CC comes into picture. Okay, in CC what we do a rating / charging, and we send the data to CI. Okay,
Okay.
so this path is already there. I would say, okay, there is something else comes into here. Once I'll keep it a /. Okay, the consumption items. It's not necessary that we should have a consumption item every time, but consumption items comes into picture. Okay, so this is the flow that we're going. Let's not get confused here. Okay, this is the flow. Okay, for usages. Also, if you remember, one more thing to say here, one time and recurring, we are going with the CI route. The same thing can be done from CC also. Okay, so it's optional. I mean, we don't. It's not recommended to go with this part, but it can be done. CC supports all three charges. Okay, but this flow is only applicable to one time and recurring. You cannot use this for
Usage.
not for usages. Okay. Okay, is it clear so far? Whatever we
Yep.
discussed.
Yeah.
Okay, so our training, as I mentioned, our training is on S400 2022, and we are going to see this path. Okay, there is no CM or FICA involved in this. CC These are the objects that we are going to cover, and how we configure these, and how to integrate these things, and what are the other objects that comes into picture when we deal with these things. We'll see that.
Okay, good. Yeah.
Okay? And see, I'll tell you one more thing. So this is SAP system given in the training landscape. If you look at this, this is a SAP system where we have what are the objects, what are the modules that we can access using SAP, SOM and CI, right? FICA also.
Mm,
And CC, similar to this, CC is a separate system. If you look at here, code tool, okay? CC accessed through code tool. It's a kind of a GUI. What we see here for SAP, to log into SAP, we use logon pad, right?
yeah.
To use CC, we use this core tool, okay, to log into CC system. These are the two different systems that we see. We see how they are integrated, how to make the connections, and what is the data that flows between SOM and CI, SOM and CC, CC and CI. We
Okay.
see those things.
Okay.
Okay. The CM is not covered because it's a different middleware kind of a thing we don't use. But how the data comes from CI, we can simulate, we can mimic, what kind of a data that we use. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. This is it for today. Hope you enjoyed, Jay.
Yes, of course. Yeah. It's good. Yeah. I was just conceptually, I know a little bit, but you elaborated clearly. It's pretty clear now. Yeah. Thank you.
Sure. So, so is it something you want to go on? I mean, just every day you want to go, or you want to do this? How you are looking at this one?
Yeah, I don't mind weekdays except Thursdays. Today is Thursday, right? So Thursday,
This conference will now be recorded.
Just make me as a presenter. Okay, I can. Yeah.